Guys, today we have an all-time Florida Gators theme team. Starts off with our quarterback, Anthony Richardson. Some other quarterbacks that went to Florida State Florida, not Florida State. Completely different. Florida is going to be Kyle Trask, Tim Tebow. So those are other options as well. Anthony Richardson is the best option at a 92 overall. And then we have our running backs, Fred Taylor, Damian Pierce, and LaMichael Pirine. Our wide receivers are kind of questionable. Van Jefferson, Kadarius Toney, and Tyree Cleveland. It's one of those situations where it's like there are certain positions that Florida does go ahead and produce very, very well at. Quarterbacks, running backs, not really wide receivers. Not really wide receivers. They did produce Kyle Pitts, which, to be honest, is an amazing tight end, one of the best in the league. Well, was one of the best in the league, kind of now a little bit downhill since then. Injuries and also the lack of consistency of that offense. But still, very great tight end. And then the offensive line is an offensive line. That's like the best way I could put this. It's not the best offensive line. Okay? There isn't really any. There are guards, but they're not in Madden. And the other guys are kind of iffy, if that. So we have Trent Brown, we have Juwan Taylor, Fred Johnson, and we have David Sharp. So literally three left tackles, one right tackle. That's how we're rocking this offensive line. So if you're combining theme teams for all-time college, yeah, you're probably going to go ahead and do something different with the offensive line. Defense, it's a lot of gold cards, man. It's a lot of gold cards. But we start off with Keir Elam at corner, CJ Henderson right here. Then we have Marco Wilson. And those are the only three corners. Now, there are actually more players in Madden that aren't currently in the auction house for this defense. For example, there are a couple linebackers who are in Madden, but simply are not on the auction house. Zach Carter of the Cincinnati Bengals. He's another player here who you could get for this defensive line. I don't personally have him, and he's not on the auction house, but he is in Madden. I know he is in Madden, so Zach Carter for the Bengals is another guy. And then Dante Fowler Jr., he's another player who simply is not in, he's not on the auction house right now, so he's another player you could go with. But other than that, this is the best defense locked down here. And it's, what's that terminology when you're saying mid, but you want to say mid to the extreme? Yeah, it's mid to the extreme, okay? It's not bad. Well, in the aspect of the players. But for Madden purposes, you're probably going to want to miss out on Florida. If you guys see my all-time college team so far, there are some really good ones, and there's some really bad ones. Some of them are really good, but they simply can't be completed because there's not enough players. Some of them, like this, can, for the most part, be completed, except for two different positions. Problem is, there's not enough good players. There's a lot of backup / mid players, which I was kind of thinking going into this, like what this would look like. I didn't think there would be a lot of mid players. Now, there are some players I do not have on this, by the way. Let me go ahead and talk about them. First off, Javon Curse, the legend right or left end. He didn't technically. He did go to Florida State. Couldn't find him on the auction house. Emmitt Smith, running back for the Cowboys. He did go to, he went to Florida too. I keep saying Florida State. They're completely different. Florida is what I'm talking about. Emmitt Smith, Javon Curse, again, like I said, Tim Tebow. Also went there, Jack Youngblood. Chris Collinsworth went there. Rex Grossman. It's not really saying much. Keanu Neal for the Pittsburgh Steelers, a strong safety. You got suspended for the whole entire season because of, hits that he did in the season. Also went there. Carlos Dunlap went there. Money Mac. This is also another thing that's been happening all day for me. For some reason, I keep getting kicked off Madden. I think it's the servers are crap, but it is what it is. Money Mac, Evan McPherson, Bengals kicker, went there. Quincy Wilson, the old Colts safety, went there. And who else went here? John Bostic, the old guy for the Bears, the linebacker for the Bears, went there. So there are some players, again, that simply are not in Madden, not in the auction house, that did go there, and eventually if they get cards, they will be pretty damn good. Okay, like, overall, they will be pretty damn good if they eventually get cards in Madden. But, yeah, so that's pretty much that. Guys, definitely tell me down below your thoughts and opinions. Wait, Bobby Joe Green. Why does that sound familiar? Never mind. Okay, I don't know why. I was thinking that was the tight end guy that we always get. But yeah, so that's the all-time Florida Gators theme team. I'll see you guys next one. Peace.